Causes of radioactive pollution. Radioactive pollution has been a major issue in the news as of late. Whether it is from Japan, Fukushima, or Chernobyl, to name just a few causes of this problem. The causes of radioactive pollution can be natural occurrences such as volcanic eruptions and earthquakes, but they can also come about due to human activity such as nuclear power generation and military testing. In our blog post today, we will discuss the causes of radioactive pollution, its effects on living organisms, and what you need to know about radiation exposure rates. Radioactive pollution caused by medical industry. The medical industry is the primary cause of radioactive pollution. Radiation, nuclear waste, and other environmental hazards are all byproducts from performing routine procedures in a hospital or clinic setting. This poses serious threats to surrounding communities and ecosystems on an international scale because it will take generations for these pollutants to decay enough so that they pose no risk at all. There's nothing more nefarious than knowing we're slowly poisoning ourselves with our own success as doctors. The plutonium and uranium in these weapons left a trail of radioactive pollution that has spread across the globe. Nuclear bombs are dangerous byproducts of warfare, but our nuclear arsenal is also leaving behind an impression on Earth, a harmful one at that. Radioactive material from both Hiroshima and Nagasaki still lingers today, with measurable effects on human health being exposed long after detonation. The radioactive pollution caused by nuclear weapons can cause harm to people and the environment. Some types of radiation are particularly dangerous, like gamma rays, which have a short wavelength that is capable of passing through any substance in their path, including living cells, without stopping or being absorbed. They wreak havoc on our body's delicate DNA molecules. It only takes 1 minute's worth of exposure from an X-ray for the body's cells to be irreversibly damaged. Radioactive pollution caused by nuclear power plants. Ever since the discovery of nuclear power, people have been debating between its use and efficiency versus safety. Radioactive pollution is one of the many problems that have plagued our society for years. The fear and panic surrounding nuclear power plants can be traced back to a time when people were unaware of what radiation was or how it could affect their bodies. Since I was a child hearing about it in school lectures on physics or chemistry classes, one question has always stuck with me: is there such a thing as too much radiation? It's an important question to answer because for some time now, this topic's prevalence among scientists has only increased due to the looming threat that we might be experiencing radioactive pollution caused by nuclear power plants at any moment soon. We need more studies before deciding whether they are safe enough for long-term projects carrying out these initiatives. But if anything can go wrong when dealing with explosives like plutonium, what makes us think other things will not also fail eventually? Causes of radioactive pollution. Radioactive pollution caused by daily use devices. It's shocking how our daily use of devices can pollute the environment. Many people are unaware that their daily electronic items, such as cell phones and laptops, emit a form of radiation known as electromagnetic waves, EMW. These BMWs cause radioactive pollution in an area when they interfere with the Earth's natural frequencies, which is also harmful to wildlife. For example, cell phone towers have been shown to produce 10% more radiation than nuclear power plants within 1 kilometer from them. This means all we need to do is turn off these small electronics for 2 days or less, and it will reduce this toxic emission by 50%. Radioactive pollution caused by mining. Mining has been the cause of millions of people developing radioactive pollution. Mining is one industry that many people overlook, but it's a major contributor to radioactive pollution and can be found in air quality all over the world. Mining involves digging into the earth for resources like coal or gold. When these substances are mined, they release small particles which contaminate soil, water sources as well as our skin, causing an increased risk for cancer due to radiation exposure. Causes of radioactive pollution are hard to understand, but we all need to work together to control these causes. Radioactive pollution caused by science. Radioactive pollution is a nefarious consequence of the scientific use of nuclear power. The release of radioactive material into our environment poses significant health risks to residents and often contaminates their food supply as well. Science was the first to discover atomic power. The discovery brought about many new industries, but it also caused radioactive pollution that led to cancer rates skyrocketing and a world population dwindling in size. Nuclear energy has many benefits that we cannot ignore. It's cost-efficient, does not produce carbon emissions like fossil fuels do, and produces less waste than other fuel sources, but its trade-offs are too great to overlook. It uses toxic chemicals such as plutonium in operation. can be difficult or expensive to decommission plants at the end of their lifespan, releases high levels radiation which could cause cancerous growths on living organisms if they're exposed long enough, may create more low-level pollutants, such as sulfur dioxide, when burned over. Causes of radioactive pollution are important to know so that we can control them. Radioactive pollution caused by population. In recent decades, the population of Earth has more than doubled from 3.2 billion to over 7 million, and due to this growth, many problems have arisen, including a rise in nuclear power plants which are prone to leaking radioactive material into nearby areas such as water sources or soil. Modern society produces a lot of radioactivity, and with each year, it becomes harder to control or dispose of all this dangerous material we're creating. The increase in nuclear power plants around the world coupled with increased mining for uranium ore by countries such as Canada has led not only to higher levels of radiation but also a greater risk for terrorist attacks involving these materials because they become much easier targets when stored out of sight from public view. In order to save our planet for future generations, we need to reduce the causes of radioactive pollution. Radioactive pollution caused by medical industry. The medical industry is the primary cause of radioactive pollution. Radiation, nuclear waste, and other environmental hazards are all byproducts from performing routine procedures in a hospital or clinic setting. This poses serious threats to surrounding communities and ecosystems on an international scale because it will take generations for these pollutants to decay enough so that they pose no risk at all. There's nothing more nefarious than knowing we're slowly poisoning ourselves with our own success as doctors.